Hello everybody and welcome into today's action-packed video. Guess what? I was the lucky high bidder at an amazing auction, and this is only a fraction of what came in this collection. You have to stay tuned in this video because so many of these fountain pens, if we zoom in on some of the original prices, you might say to yourself, I didn't know antique fountain pens had such value. Please excuse my band-aid on my finger as well. Normally in such videos, I would be the one to fixate on the mistake. So thank you so much for joining in. Let's get into this, and I'm going to show you a few things for coming videos. This is a diamond ring from the 1950s. It's solid 14 karat white gold. It's a very lovely diamond, and it's a gent's ring. A lot of what do I say? A lot of gentlemen nowadays are getting back into wearing jewelry. So I do try and, what do you say? I guess stay current with what I sell. So that diamond ring will come to another video. If fountain pens and mechanical pencils really aren't your thing, please give this video a chance because fountain pens are extremely valuable now, and some were made in 14 karat gold and exotic materials like hard rubber, celluloid, Catlin, Bakelite. So just stay tuned for this because I do feel that it's very important, and I am trying to branch out from just my jewelry collections because I collect so much more than just tiny and shiny. This is a diamond necklace that was in one of my other videos. I'm going to try and remember to link the video to this diamond video. If you haven't seen it and you're here and you really don't want to talk about fountain pens or pencils, or you don't have any interest in that field, I will link that video. A turquoise brooch I'm going to be bringing back to a future video. And when people say to me, why do you just flash certain things in the beginning? Because it helps grow my channel, because hopefully you love this and you'll come back and take a deeper look with me. I do appreciate all of you understanding I'm extremely busy these days. I'm still full-time reselling on eBay. I am assisting at an area veterinary clinic. I'm still auction advising, and I've been doing presentations for investment groups, corporations, libraries, museums. So I'm very, very booked, and I just try my best to bring you back into my world so that you do return and you do hit the subscribe button because it is important to grow my channel. A very small piece of platinum. This is 1 gram of platinum, and I did buy this for $30 at a pawn shop. It is genuine platinum. It is 1 gram, and I'd like to do some future videos on the metals market, the gold market, the silver market, platinum, palladium, and try and give you my insight, and a Mexican bracelet that Jeremy brought back home for me from Texas, from his trip to Texas. If you haven't subscribed to Bully Run Coffee, please do so. I know I ask frequently, but a lot of people ask me, where do you sell your items? I sell on Bully Run Coffee on YouTube almost every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so please go over and subscribe to Jeremy's channel. We would greatly appreciate it. A lot of people said, too, in the beginning, I'm kind of not, in the market to buy things, and a lot of people go to the sales just to see the value of what things sell for and what is currently kind of in vogue, or not necessarily fads, because I don't base my business on fads. If I would have based my business on fads, I would have been out of business. So anyone that does that, struggles. I don't base my sales on fads. I never have, and I never will. Let's get into the fountain pen collection. Now you have to understand there are exactly, I think there's 71 parcels from the auction. I'm trying to think here and remember number-wise, but please stay tuned for future videos on the rest of the collection, because wait till you see this as well. There's this parcel. So this is the way the parcels came in. These are all old antique fountain pens, mechanical pencils, like I said, celluloid, hard rubber, interesting mixtures of materials of both sterling silver, gold filled, 14 karat gold, and I actually have a set, a Skyline set, that is solid 14 karat gold, and a pen and a pencil together are worth now almost $3,000. Can you imagine? So let's go in and take a quick peek. This is a Parker, and I believe that it's a duofold, and this is a lapis. So this is called lapis by collectors. Unfortunately, this bottom portion has oxidized more than the top portion. That usually can't be remedied that well. Back in the day, it was $750. I found one on eBay recently in one of my searches, and one is on eBay for $1,000. Do I feel that values are up or down in pens in general? They are definitely down in what I've seen over the years. And as an auction advisor, I have to know current values. Let's go in on that. This is a 5.5 inch, slightly larger than most. And when you look at such pieces, this is by Parker. I think from my memory, I think Parker started in 1888. I don't know exactly when the company stopped. It might still be in production, but you can do the deep dive on that. Again, I am not a fountain pen or writing utensil expert, but what I've always loved about them is the artistry of such pieces, the mixtures of materials, the way that this plastic mimics almost onyx stone. This is a pendant mechanical pencil, and that is worn on a pendant. Very unusual, probably late 30s on that one. This one is a Waterman by Waterman's, and it's the patrician design, and this one is called onyx because it was meant to look like onyx. Again, a few days ago, I was looking on eBay to do some comps, and there is a fountain pen and pencil set, and it's around $2,000 on eBay for this, same pencil, mechanical pencil, and the fountain pen as a set for over $2,000. The craft and the design, when people say, I don't quite understand the fascination with pens and pencils, think about this. It's jewelry for the desk. It is high style, it's luxury. It exudes the fact that someone has wealth or excessive wealth to invest in artistry, in writing utensils. Doctors, lawyers, people of higher status were the ones that were consuming these pieces to kind of show their wealth, so they didn't have just the usual, quote, disposable, pen or pencil. This one, interestingly enough, is by Tiffany and Company. It's signed Tiffany and Company. Look at that hand-chased and hand-engraved surface of this beautiful mechanical pencil. Absolutely elegant, absolutely wonderful. And I will actually use this one. I will actually keep that and use that. And back in the day, this one was $225. Interestingly enough, gold-filled encased. Hard rubber pendant, and let's go in and take a look. I believe it's by Waterman's. I believe it is a Waterman's. Yes, it is. And look at the construction of how that is encased. It is a lever fill. Excuse me. It is a lever fill. And then the nib is probably 14 karat gold. Remember, these nibs now are around $30 to $40 a piece because of their weight in gold. And they should not be melted down or scrapped because, there's a finite amount in the world. Let's take a look here. Oh, look. Owned by Delia, and it looks like Glenn. Wow. And that's a pendant. That's a pendant. That's a pendant fountain pen. And wow, it's just incredible. Absolutely beautiful. So, all right, let's get into these other boxes because, let me show you some things that are coming up. And let me show you some unique pieces as well, because look at the fitted box on this one. Isn't that just glorious? Absolutely beautiful. I can talk about, in my experience, because I'm not an expert in the pen and pencil world, I can talk about the main manufacturers of like Parker, L.E. Waterman, Swan Pen Company. I think that was like 1843. Schaefer. Wall Eversharp. I think that was like 1914-ish to, I think they were out by like 1957. That's by memory again, because as an auction advisor, I always had to be ready for such things to come across my desk. And, you talk about Mont Blanc, talk about luxury in pens. Absolutely stunning. We always looked for unusual colors with such pieces. And then these top jewels, they always like to see the top jewels. What a fabulous set to see it in its original box, this Parker pen and pencil. I think this just pulls. I think this just pulls apart. It does. You unscrew it to get into this cartridge fill down here. So that's the way you get into the mechanism to fill. And then look at how beautiful the tip is on that and how it just feels so wonderful in the hand. I could talk about the design of these things. Also, the cap and the hardware of pens and pencils, specifically pens, the hardware escalates the value as well. Let me set that one out of the way. I have so many more in this box, but we're only going to get through a certain amount because I do want to keep the video around 25 minutes today. I have so much to do. And someone did say in one of my videos, you seem rushed all the time. You seem panicked all the time because I'm one person doing the job of 6 people. I'm an artist. I'm a reseller. I'm a vet assistant. I'm an auction advisor, and I'm a content creator here on YouTube. So it's not like I just have the luxury of, I'm just going to do a video and then sit around for the rest of the day. No, I work very, very hard. And sometimes I think I work too hard. Ronson, pencil, and then pencil lighter. So pencil lighter. And it's writes and it lights. But look at how cool this is for a gentleman's mechanical pencil. Very robust, very cool. You might say to yourself, why is it called a lighter? Look, this mechanism clicks down, and that is a miniature lighter that when you put a flint in there and you pull the mechanism down, it strikes, and it actually is a lighter. Think about that. Never used, never out of the box. And look how cool this is that this pencil was in this box forever. And look, it comes with the original little manual. When I saw this collection, I said to myself, I'm doing it. I just said to myself, I'm going to have to beat out a lot of competition, which I did. And I said to myself, I'm doing this. Some of the pen rests, a Bakelite dip pen for a desk, and an old tire that is hard rubber that is the holder for this desk pen. And look how long and elegant. Once again, a gone by era of that fancy, beautiful, sophisticated writing. Nothing says elegance for a desk like these pieces. And then we're going to talk about some of the materials as well for specifically the pens and the pencils and the construction. Another dip pen or a desk pen. I think this one, let me take my loop and take a look because I do think this is by Wall, but I might be incorrect. Nope, it is Wall. And the nib here is solid 14 karat. Original nib, and look how small and elegant. Always make sure the tip of these is in really good condition. If that's kind of separated or bent, it's a definite no. You'd have to replace it. But look at that marbleized plastic there. Can we talk about some of the colors that these pens were called? Cashmere, Morocco. Look at how even exotic the names were. And then of course you have classic jet, or even, guess again, Burma or Red Ripples. The Red Ripple fountain pens were some of my favorites in my personal collection. I think I have about 25 or 26 of the Red Ripples. And if you would like to see future videos on pens and the values of them, I can take you on the deeper dive. This was just a quick overall of kind of what to look for. And also this collection just, literally just came in. So all I can say is it's going to take me a long time to process all of these. Can you imagine? Let me scoot these out of the way. Oh, there's a little sewer tile piece too. So this is sewer tile pottery, and I have a very large collection of these. This is the smallest sewer tile object I've ever seen personally, and it's the smallest in my collection, of course, but that's sewer tile, and I believe it was used on a desk just to contain like paper clips or matchsticks. And you know, some people say, well, you have strike anywhere matches, so you put the matches in here and you'd strike the matches on the side. That's completely possible. But look how amazing that is. Likely Ohio on that one. And I did actually sell a sewer tile piece that was signed with its provenance of where it was for, and I sold it for $1,600. So this is, as I said, red ripple before, this is almost a red ripple. Some people call this the wood grain. We won't fight over terms because there's no reason to. And again, I've said I am not an expert in this. I just know what I thought was classy, elegant, timeless, and well constructed. Look at the mixture of materials. These gold-filled hardwares, this little tiny medallion, this banding that runs throughout, you know, 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, and that total classiness and sophistication. Look at the artistry that went into these pieces and why they're so revered by today's collectors. I think that set in its box probably now is worth, I'm taking a wild guess, anywhere between $250 and $450, depending on if someone really, truly down deep needed it. And look at the Christmas or holiday presentation box that was in. Likely a gift from a wife to a husband at that time. And wouldn't he have just been to the moon to receive something so luxurious and so beautiful that would make him stand out, you know, amongst all the other gentlemen that he was, you know, social with at the time. Just a reminder of a gone by era. And it just makes me so happy to know that I am able to own such beautiful pieces, even if just for a little while. But I hope you're enjoying the video. Double check my pricing online. Like I said, I'm not exactly the most current on pens right now. I used to know a whole lot more. But Schaefer Snorkel, the mechanism on these is super cool. Like when you go to fill this up, you know, it was super amazing. So the little snorkel comes out here, the little tube, and let's see if this one works. I've never tried this one. Oh, there we go. See the little snorkel coming out to fill up that kind of diaphragm in here, or the little containment system to grab that ink and then store it. What an amazing, amazing mechanism. Likely a 14 karat gold nib as well. Sometimes these bands and sometimes the hardware will be solid 14 karat gold. Most time on the gold tone, it is gold filled. Look at the matching mechanical pencil and in its original Schaefer's box. I think from memory, again, Schaefer's probably, I guess, as I struggled to get this other one out of the box, I think Schaefer was 1913, I believe. This one's empty, but it's a Parker duofold box. Most people threw these away. I absolutely love the old boxes because this one might have a pen in it. I know this one does not, but this one might have a pen in it. The Watermans might, oh, it does. And look, this one was $105. And look at that for a hard rubber with that gold-filled banding. And again, comes with the old-time manual. You just don't, oh, look at this. Look at the bottom. I've never seen this before. Look at that for the Waterman's ink as well to go with the Waterman's pen. And let's see if we can get in and not ruin this. It's so fragile. Let me open this up. Let me breathe. I always just go so, nope, see, this is definitely going to tear. Let's see, because it's, oh, okay, now I see what's going on. Now, oh, look at this. Thank you for bearing with me because I have never seen this. Now, hold on. Let me see if I can get this open. I don't want to fight with it too much. Very fragile. Already tiny little tear. Look at that unbelievable old paperwork. And look at the ink back then. Even ink was expensive. Wow. Safety Traveler's filler metal container. And then Waterman's ink. It was sold in different sizes. Extremely expensive. look at the elegance of those pencils. And it's basically, let's see here. Oh, definitely expensive back in the day. $1 to $2.25. Wow, absolutely awesome to see such an early piece of advertising for Waterman's pens. Let me fold this back up, and you know what I will do? I'll do that off camera so I can get it all back together, but isn't that awesome? Did not know that was in there, and for $105 back in the day, definitely a steal to get that for sure. The old paper and the old boxes, you know how I am. I go totally crazy. So I don't think I'll spend too much more time. I could do the much deeper dive, and then when people have questioned me about the off-brands and the makers that weren't really well known, there was Camel Pen Company, there was a Houston Pen Company, and then different makers. Like, I remember doing research on like John Holland, there was an Aiken Lambert, I believe, and a Paul Wirt. Those were 3 that I did research on back in the day. And, people say, well, is that just name dropping? No, it was because when I would find odd pens and pencils in my estate sales, I would have to do the research and see what value was. I have to tell you, I did a little bit of research, I would say about maybe 7 months ago, and I found out that there was a pen by Tibaldi, and it actually retails for $8 million. A single pen, let me say it again, retails for $8 million. There was one that sold at an auction for like 1.1 million, and I forgot who made that one. Here, did I already do this one? No, I didn't. I'll look at this for a no, it's not Waterman. It's Wall Eversharp. I must have made a mistake. And Wall Eversharp, I think that was, 1914 to the mid or late 1950s, 1957 or 58. Look at this with that kind of, just amazing hard rubber construction on this one. And if you briskly rub these, if you briskly rub this, you'll smell that, you'll smell that kind of hard rubber smell, almost like gutta percha from the Victorian time periods, but you will notice a very kind of almost pungent odor off of the hard rubber ones. So that'll help you identify some of the materials, but look at the quality of this pen. Lever fill on the back here. The mechanisms, I don't usually mess with them too much because a lot of times these are very touchy. They can break pretty easily. There's the paperwork in that box as well, but wow is all I can say. Let's get into this bag, and I'll just do a brief once over. I hope you're still here with me. There's another Waterman's absolutely incredible pen. Just truly incredible with the old fitted box. That's just stunner. And self-filling. And that is apparently is the original box for that too. This collection, I will say when you see such collections, you normally don't see this quality. You just don't. And let me take these out and just do a brief over because I don't want anyone ever bored with my videos. And I think there's some in this that might be missing their caps. Or the cap to this or the pen to that might be in another bag because the way the auction was lauded, I don't know what else to say, but I won't say anything about other people's work. I will just say I was grateful to get what I did. And again, there's casein, there's celluloid, bakelite, acrylics, lucite, radite, which is like, quote, radite because it's the name of the plastic, and marbolette as well. When you talk about materials of pens, gold-filled, sterling silver, 14 karat gold, sometimes even high karat gold. But we'll take a look at some of these materials, and again, we can get into like Schaefer Lifetime, Wall Eversharp. We could get into a lot of the different makers eventually, and then there's one in here that I knew. Of course, it's way over here. I think this is by Swan. I believe so because I've had this before. Let me make sure that I'm telling you correctly because it's like one of the kind of lesser known Should be signed on the barrel here. Yes, Swan in quotes, and then it says self-filling, and then of course the hyphenated name of Mabie, M-A-B-I-E, Todd and Company, New York, and this is patent pending. And it almost started to say the name of the plastic, but look at that, signed right here. So look, very lightly pressed signed on that. Isn't that awesome? Missing the mechanism here. So you always have to watch the condition because the condition is paramount. Now, when you start to get the staining down here from the ink, if the ink leaches out and stains this half, that does dramatically drop the value. Some pens are only worth, you know, a couple dollars to $20 because of condition. So always watch the condition on your fountain pens and pencils. Look at some of these materials though, and how absolutely gorgeous these things are. That's a Parker mechanical pencil, and it was a pendant pencil. A lot of times these were on those little kind of wire-driven or spring-loaded button-style brooch that would be pinned onto the clerk or the person, and then there would be a long chain to like pull that mechanism out, and it would go back in. That's because they would pull it down right with it, and then it would go right back up. So they always had their pencil where they needed it for clerking. General stores, doctor's offices, clerking or accounting. Let's do a whole grouping of these because I know the pen collectors out there are probably already frustrated with this video, but this was kind of for the novice people just getting their feet wet, you know, just kind of understanding. A lot of these, a tremendous amount of money because these are some of the favorites of pen collectors because they're so useful and they're so wonderful. When you get names of people that are engraved or embossed on these, that does sometimes drop the value. If you get a very rare pen, it does not drop the value that much, I should say. So there you go. And a lot of times the style of these caps is variable as well, not only in the material used, the metal used, but also the design of the hardware and the design of the banding as well. So there's a lot of variables there. I think in Parker, there's like 4 or 5 different cap styles for some of these models. Again, you know, Dove Gray and, you know, all the names that go with these. That Mandarin Yellow, I don't have one out right now. I'm trying to put these back where they came from. But again, if you want to do a deeper dive on fountain pens, there is a book that I found to be very helpful. And I said on my other video the other day, I want, as I gather up hard rubber ones to show you, I said I wanted to like kind of monetize my Amazon book list. And but I'm just going to mention it now. It's called Fountain Pens and Pencils by George, I think it's Fischler, Fischler. This is memory again. George Fischler. And the last name of the other author is Schneider. It's Stuart Schneider. There we go, Stuart Schneider. And I have lost my copy of it somewhere in my house. And it's a very useful book. So it'll give you a lot of information on the companies and then also the way these are constructed and the variables in each different organization, or I should say brand that was producing these pieces. As you can tell, I avoid contemporary like Mont Blanc because every time I buy one, it sells immediately for exorbitant amounts of money, and I find so much more artistry and so much more personality in the earlier pens and pencils. In my personal collection, I've been collecting them for probably maybe about 20 years, I would say. But I always considered them jewelry for the desk. These are hard rubber versions, much earlier. You know, could these be as early as 1895 into like 1915, 1918? Absolutely, yes. And really, really beautiful hard rubber versions, myriad of different manufacturers, because when you think about this, the main brands of like Parker, Waterman, Schaefer, they were all very early. Conklin, I forgot to mention Conklin pens and pencils. Let's go into the sterling ones because I have a lot of people here that collect and love their sterling silver jewelry, and I don't blame you. All these are sterling silver mechanical pencils. I think in the collection there has to be hundreds and hundreds of them. And just in this one bag, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So there's 8 of them in sterling silver, both pencils and this beautiful hand-engraved pen. Again, a pendant fountain pen, all sterling silver construction, and that miniature lever fill, just really absolutely so elegant, and to me quite timeless. It says, you know, I am important, as I fill the box that I got these out of, and let me show you some of the plastics. And I think that's where I was seduced by pens and pencils that were of a gone by era, is because the color, you know, the variation in color and the variation in materials, and the way that they combined these together. Novelty pens have a whole nother video that I could do on novelty pens and pencils, but look at this. Oh, and then this one, of course, I believe this is Schaefer. Let me look at the top of it. I'm so rusty with this. Yeah, Schaefer Lifetime. This whole top cap right here is solid 14 karat gold. From here up is solid 14 karat gold. That could be like palladium plated. It might be platinum plated. Anyways, but this is 14 karat gold from here up. And just that piece, if you were to like cut that off and like scrap that down, that's probably now in gold $60+ maybe it's even $70. I don't know because I don't have one loose right now, but that's very heavy gauge gold. And with the price of gold, I think some, you know, pens may eventually be threatened because of the value of gold. And if it happens, don't say I told you so. You know, I hope it doesn't. I truly don't. I won't let that happen to any of the ones that I have. It's simply never going to happen. That will not happen. Not in my lifetime anyway. So these, look at the myriad of materials. And when you talk about the colors and the saturation, the Mandarin yellow, or Ming's yellow, I forget what they call it. I think they called it Ming's yellow, is a Mandarin yellow. It's this most amazing bright yellow. I do have 2 in my collection. One is slightly oversized. Again, the value depends on condition. The value depends on the amount that were produced as well, and the time periods that they were produced in. Other things that will control value, as I simply try and look for one more pen. I can't find it. I'll have to bring it back to another video. That'll get you back. But yeah, I could go on and on and on. I hope this was helpful. And like I said, I think there's now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think there's probably in the collection total, I would say there's well over 4,000. And I mean, some are just incredibly important. So take your time when you're at the thrift or yard sales. If you see a box of these, just go slow and take a look and take a peek. Every household usually still has these. So go slow, take your time. And if you find just this at a sale, ask the family, do you have the rest of the pen that goes to this? And then they'll look at it and go, you know, that's in another drawer. We'll be right back. And then they'll come back and they'll have the rest of the pen. And then you'll have a true treasure. So please take your time. I hope this video was helpful. You have all been so helpful to me. I'm incredibly grateful. Go forward with peace, knowledge, and kindness. Have a great day. I love you because I do.